to understand how to navigate the scholarship application, the schools applications, and any other problem or challenge one may face while applying to schools either in the US, in Canada, some other European countries too. And the platform is quite open to everyone. Why we discuss, if maybe on the course of the discussion, you have questions, you have queries, you have some concerns. Okay, you're always open to ask a question, and in any way we can help, we can actually help to answer those questions in any little way. So without much ado, I will just share some of my slides, so to better drive the points we are trying to make today. So let me just share one or two slides I prepared. Okay. So I don't know if anyone can see my slide or my screen. Please, can someone confirm?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So I'm just trying to, we are going to look at, a continuation of what we have been discussing earlier about, applying to scholarships and most of the requirements that are needed. And then we look broadly into these different ways in which we can, prepare our documents for these, applications. So one, when you want to apply for, scholarships or schools, one of the things that is needed is the school certificate. Okay, almost all the scholarship bodies or school you apply need your school certificate, like maybe your bachelor's in, let's say, medical lab science, bachelor of science in any field. They really need those certificates. So it's one of the important documents you have to place while preparing your application. The other one is a transcript of records. Transcript of records that talks about the different subjects you have taken so far while in school and how you were able to, what you were able to get, the grade you had, and different subjects you took. Okay, so we have the official and unofficial transcripts. Talking about the official, official is usually the one that the school send directly to maybe the scholarship board you want to apply, and the unofficial is the one you get from the school, from your school. You get it as a student's copy, and you can submit that on your own. So most schools, allow you to submit unofficial copies, and then upon admission, you have to submit the official copies of your transcripts. And then another one is statements of purpose or your personal statements. I will dive on this more maybe in the next slide. But this is an important, document that you have to, place while you are submitting your applications to school. It talks about.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Exactly. Sure. You can go ahead.
Okay, I saw you talked about the transcripts, the official, unofficial one. And you talked about, you said that the official ones is the one the school send directly to wherever you want them to send. Then the unofficial one, how do you in your department directly, or you going to the registrar's office to get it? I don't know.
Yeah, normally different schools, have their different policies. In a school, you can either go to your department to get it, apply directly to your department, and your department, goes on your behalf to the registrar to obtain it, and then you go back to your department and get it. But in some other schools, you have to go to the registrar's office and apply for it directly. And when you're applying, they have different types of transcript. They will ask if you need the student's copy or you want the official copy. So you have to be the one to state the one you need or you want to get. So if it's the official copy, sorry?
Because I asked the exam officer from the department that I wanted the student copy. Like, I should go to the registrar. I said, I was not like, it's not possible to get it. I'm talking about Unity.
Okay.
You grab it. So I was just like, it's not possible to get from the department directly. Since it's the same results you sent to
No.
get this thing.
Yeah.
Can't I just access it from the department instead of going back to the registrar office to get this copy of the transcript? So I want to skip it through the process of getting the unofficial.
I think your network is breaking. I can barely hear you well.
Okay, I just want to put me through the process of getting the unofficial one for now because I really
Okay.
need it.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. You know, if it's unofficial copy, first you need to go to your departments to make sure your transcripts that they have graded your subjects and that you have your transcripts already with you, already with them. So once you have ascertained that your transcript is already with them, what you need to do is now to apply to the school, apply to the registrar, which is in Oka. You have to go to Oka and apply for it officially. I think they are not doing online application, so you can just open the database and apply online for those unofficial copy. And then when you apply, in order to fasten the process, you still have to go to this, to the department, to the school or registrar's office and ask them that you have applied and you want to get your transcript, this unofficial copy. And then when you apply, I think they pay some certain amount of money, I think 10,000 or something around that amount. So they'll now start, preparing for it and tell you when you should come back and take it. So when you apply, you give them some time, they will now, look into it and see if it's already prepared. So if your transcript is with them, if your department has sent this to them, because the department cannot give it directly to you. So you have to send this to the registrar, who will now stamp it with the registrar's stamp, and before they forward it to you. So it takes some time, like 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, and depending on how long or how fast you need it, you meet someone and discuss with him, and the person in the registrar's office fasting the process for you, and tell you when to come for the collection. So I think that's the summary of how to do it. First, go to the departments, ask them if your transcript is ready, then tell them to forward this to the registrar's office, and once it's forwarded, you can go there and apply officially, and then wait for a period of either 1 month or 2 months or thereabouts. They will call you when it's ready, so you can pick it up.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. So I was sharing my screen. Let me continue. Can you still see my slide?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So you're talking about the statement of purpose, which I explained that is kind of some series of documents. One of the important documents you include in your application that state the purpose of why you want to apply to a school, or just the summary of why you want to apply to a particular school. Then you have the research proposal. Some schools don't even ask for a research proposal, especially schools in the Western, in the in North America, US, Canada. They don't ask you for your research proposal. It's mainly schools maybe in Australia or some European schools where you have to prepare a proposal prior to application to a particular scholarship or school. So in your proposal, it states why this particular project and what you intend to do during the course of this project. And then we have the standardized tests. So standardized tests, include different forms of exams that one takes to solidify his or her application. And some schools don't request for it, or some don't request. So some of these exams or tests, some of them include this GRE. So GRE is mainly schools, that are have more of engineering programs, although some biomedical sciences equally ask for GRE, but they vary in the law. There are very few schools that ask you for GRE, but more of the engineering schools, they will ask you for GRE. Then we have the TOEFL or IELTS, which is the English test. So one of the striking difference, between this particular test, especially this TOEFL or IELTS, is that for students that come from Nigeria, some schools waive this TOEFL or IELTS for us. So we don't necessarily have to write it, but you have to, inquire if they are waiving this particular test for you. Because most of our programs for school, we are done in English language. And if you can convince them that your program, we are done in English language, they'll be able to consider it for a waiver for this particular test. Then the GMAT is for people that are in the social sciences. So you can equally inquire about that if maybe that's your area of interest. Then we have the referees. Referees are people that write recommendation letters for you. They 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 tell the admission or graduate committee about your expertise and about how competent you are in the different maybe research you have done with them or the different courses you took with them. So they'll be able to explain to these people, this guy is good, this guy can do this, he can, he's quite versatile, he went for different conferences, he did that, he did that. So anyone that can speak for you or talk about your abilities, mostly it's mainly your professors or your lecturers in school. But if maybe you don't get all of them, if you can get two professors and then one person from your working place, that's kind of a professional, recommendation letter. That's equally a good one. So most schools require that you submit about 3 recommendation letters. So those 3 recommendation letters, if you get the 3 lecturers or 3 professors, that's quite awesome. But if you can't get 3 professors and you just get maybe 2 professors and a professional, if you are working, that's equally nice. So anyone that can speak for you, speak about your expertise, your qualities, your attributes, that person can, be a recommender for you. But that's different from using your family members. You don't use your family members or your friends as a recommender. Then we have the resume or your CV. Resume. No, when you talk about the resume or your CV, this is where you enumerate the different things you have done. I mean, your academic career or your work career or your experiences you have gathered so far. So this is where you document it. And most schools will tell you that they just want 2 or 3 pages of your CV. So in that case, you don't need to even write much, describe much or something. Just limit it to that particular number that they request from you or that they requested from you and make it short. So in those CV, you don't need to add your date of birth, your religion, the where you are coming from. Those are not necessary. Just your education background. You can equally include your recommenders at the end of your CV, the publications you have had, and your work experiences and many others that we tell them that this person is competent or this person can do research in this field he or she is applying to. And then sometimes they equally need you to submit a supervisor's agreement, but this is not really necessary because most schools don't need to get a supervisor before you are admitted. For those that request that you have a supervisor, they will need you to submit an agreement between your supervisor and you while applying. Okay, so these are just the basic, basic requirements most schools will ask you for. Any question?
Yes, please. Regarding the resume or CV, in a situation where where it is not stated that it must be 2 pages or 3 pages, can it be up to 5 or 6?
Yeah, sure. You can make it up to any amount you want, but what you just need is just to be specific. Your CV doesn't need to be verbose. You don't need to explain everything in your CV. It's just for you to list the experiences you have had so far. But if you're listing the experiences and they're up to 5, 6 pages, of course, you can go ahead with it. But just know the limitation of your school you're applying to because different schools have different policies. So you need to understand what they need from you before you submit each document. I don't know if I answered your question, Mr. Christian.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, sure. So any other question?
Yes, sir. I have a question. I have a question to ask. Sir. Is concerning statement of purpose and personal statement. Are they the same thing?
Yeah, of course. They're almost the same thing, but it's just that the difference is that in your personal statement, you are trying to show them your attributes, your qualification. I mean, what make you up? Who are you? You are trying to tell them who you are. So in such situation, you're explaining yourself to them. They don't know you. So they want to know you from your personal statement. It's just for you, writing about your characteristics. Who are you? What are your attributes? So that's your personal statement. But when you talk about statements of purpose, you're explaining why you want to do this particular project or why you want to do this particular research. The purpose is a research. So you are giving a statement of fact why you are qualified for this project. Maybe you have done a related work in this area and you think you can continue with it, or you want to progress on your career in this field because of your undergraduate experience you have gotten in this area. That's what you are trying to, give a sometimes it can equally be called motivational letter. You are trying to tell them I'm qualified for this because I've done this and this and that. But in personal statements, you're talking about yourself. You are competent. I'm a go-getter. I'm this, I'm that, and that. Those are your characteristics. So both of them go hand in hand, but it's just the little difference within them. I don't know if I answered you.
Yes, you have answered me. But please, I want to ask also, like you have explained the difference between personal statement and the statement of purpose. My question is, on which one exactly are we going to specify? Maybe, for instance, I noticed that they used to state that if you have any deficit in school, maybe that resulted to your poor grade in school, that you should state it in your. Is it on this personal statement or statement of purpose? And also, I want to ask, can you use them interchangeably? Maybe can you equally summarize both of them and make it this one can serve as personal statement and also can also serve as statement of purpose?
Yeah, both of them can be used interchangeably. You can use it because even if they ask your thesis of purpose, you are indirectly putting your personal statement there. But they will not ask you to put, they will just tell you, write a statement of purpose within so words. So you are indirectly putting both your personal statement and your statement of purpose because you're talking about yourself and then the reason why you want to do the research. So both of them are, come hand in hand, but you need to look at the requirement they mention while you are, applying. Some of them will tell you write a personal statement different, and then some of them will tell you write a statement of purpose different. So in that case, you have to differentiate between your personal statement and your statement of purpose. But if they just tell you to write 1,000 words on statement of purpose or the purpose for which you want to do this research, in that case, you are putting both a statement of purpose and personal statements together. You're not separating them. However, when you want to start a statement of purpose, you need to start from the personal statements, like from the personal statements dimension or section. Talk about yourself first before you now navigate down to why you want to do the research. So the purpose of why you want to do research can be in the middle paragraph, while your personal statement can start, the documents or statement of purpose you are writing.
Okay, thank you so much. Then please, I want to ask one final question before giving others chance. Please, I want to know what exactly does that diversity statement entails? What exactly are we supposed to write there? Because I've seen some schools requesting for that diversity statement.
Yeah, diversity statement actually means how diverse you are, how unbiased you can be when you are in the midst of other people. For instance, in a school, you have millions of people from different areas. You can have Christian, you can have Muslims, you can have Buddhists, you can have Hindu, and all that. So your ability to, relate with them without bias is what they want to know. How have you worked before in your previous place where you have myriad of people from different areas, and how do you interact with them? Was there any problem? Was there any, a kind of fight or disagreement with them? Is the relationship with them cordial? That's why you have to explain your teamwork, experience or your teamwork abilities. Because most schools will equally look at your teamwork. How are you be able to work in a team? So that's one of the criteria they check while you're applying to school, because they know that people are coming from different places. People come from Asia, Africa, North America, other parts of North America, and other places. So the ability to work with them as a group or as a team will make you know more diverse. So if they're working with them, how do you interact with them? For instance, we usually have people, you know, we have the threats, we have the bi, we have the homo and all that. The call, you know. So how do you interact with these people? Do you segregate with them, or do you tell them that you don't talk with them or something like that? So the ability to tell them that you are open to conversations. You work as a team. You work cordially with anybody. You are part with. We'll be able to define the ability to work in the lab or do a graduate study, because they have diverse people from different areas. So that's what diversity statement is all about. Talking about how you're able to work in a team with different people from different areas, and the challenges you had and how you're able to settle those challenges among you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So do you have any other question? Anyone that want to ask a question? Okay, so in the absence of question, you just do one or two. I'm just sharing one or two other tips on how you want to apply to schools. So this particular one is something that that blows my mind. When you want to apply your application, especially when you want to write your SOP statement, what do you need to put in place while you're writing your SOP? The SOP actually stands for the statement of purpose. Okay. So one thing you have to do while you're writing your SOP is to pay attention to prompts. Different schools, as I said earlier, have different requirements. Okay, so you don't use your statement of purpose you use to apply to a particular school to apply to another school. You have to look at the peculiarity of the school you're applying to. What do they want? What do they want from you? What are the basic requirements they demand from you? So when you pay such attention to them, you find out that they have different information, and you have to include those information in your status of purpose, so that they will know that yes, you have an eye to detail. You can understand what they want, and you wrote it very well. So you don't just bring an autopilot stuff you prepared for a particular school and use it to submit to another school. You should tell them that you are not organized. The another one is to focus on unique experiences and qualities. Every human being have their different abilities or qualification. What makes you stand out? Why do you think you are qualified for this particular program? Why do you think you are qualified for this research you want to conduct? Why do you think that you should leave other people and consider you for this project? That's where unique experiences comes into place, or unique qualities. You can tell them you have high teamwork experience, you have worked in so areas, you have organized so research, you have gone for so conferences and seminars and workshops. That makes you stand out. And you have to explain it in detail what you've acquired from those experiences or those qualities you think you had. How did it change you? What's the difference between those qualities you had or you have from other people or from other applicants that are applying for the same position you're applying? And it's important to note that most of these applications are highly competitive. So your unique experience can be the singular thing that will single you out from other applicants who are applying to the same, that program or scholarship you want to apply to. The third one is to include details in your SOP or in your personal statement. It's not just right to just say a team leader, I work in a group, I have this, I have that. You have to explain more about how those activities helped you, or how those accomplishments you had, how it can, how it has changed you, or what you learned from those experiences. For instance, you can be working on a PCR machine and you can tell them like, from this and this, I've learned this particular probing and all that. I'll be able to do this and do that. That will tell them, yeah, this particular person has experience in this, so and it seems this professor is working in this area. So I think we can connect this person to him, since they have the same, the same abilities or the same qualities. So your ability to include details in your applications, make you stand out. from the rest of other applicants. Now, another one is to consider institutional qualities. Different schools have different qualities that make them stand out. So while you are checking a school, you need to check what is so unique about them. It can be that they have a good football team. It can be that they have lab that other schools don't have. It can be that they allow their students to go for conferences, workshops, different competitions, and you have flair for such opportunities. So those are things that that schools look out for. Whether this person is actually took his time to check what made us stand out and why you are applying to this school. So this is another important thing we need to add, because most schools will ask you why this school. That's what they want to check in your SOP. Why are you applying to this school? Out of all the whole schools in the whole world, why did you consider us? So it's for you to check the qualities that that school has, which other school doesn't have, and that's what that's what you look into, and you want to embrace it as a student in that school. So you have to state this categorically that this school has this or that. They have faculty members in these areas which other schools don't have. So I am able to explain this. We make them understand your perception about their school. Okay. And then another one, don't forget your academics. This one, most times we tend to write just about our experiences without writing about some of the courses we did while in school. This can equally be helpful. You need to list these different courses you did while you are studying and how those courses, improved you, the challenges you faced while taking those courses, the grade you had while taking those courses, and some of the things you have learned after graduation from those studies. That will help you equally to stand out from others, because you are able to explain how your undergraduate or your previous education enhanced your ability for graduate studies. So they want to see those personalities, those challenges you overcame, those problems you were able to solve, and how you're able to continue to navigate. Because to be honest, graduate school is not a child's play. It takes a lot of deal, it takes a lot of zeal, and it takes a lot of determination and focus to be able to excel. So they want to see those peculiarities. You don't need to state it categorically. I'm a focused person, disciplined, and this and that. But from your statement, how you explain it, they'll be able to see those qualities in you. And this can be seen, when you put this in place, your academics, the courses you had, even if you failed, how were you able to, come up and, took the exam again and pass, in a flying color. They want to see your ability to be, to challenge some situations, to challenge the status quo you had before. So those are things they are looking at for in your application. So this is just, a summary I made. Maybe in the future ones, I can equally list out some other things you need to include while you're writing your SOP. So do you have any question? Because I believe that I've spoken so much on this. Any challenge about this?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, please go
Hello.
ahead. I can hear you, sir.
Please, please. Do you advise someone to apply to few schools and focus very well on few schools, or are you advising someone to apply to to too many schools? Because I noticed that when you were explaining the setting of purpose, you need to edit each and every one of them to suit a particular school that you have in mind. So, someone like me now, to edit those things is very stressful, honestly. I do see some features that a certain school possesses. But the issue now is that I cannot be editing my statement of purpose. What I used to do, I will write a particular template, then and send the SOP to different schools. The only change I will make is just to edit the name of the schools. What do you have to say about this, please?
Yeah, honestly, I know, applying to graduate school is stressful, especially, when you have to submit applications to many schools like that. But however, it's a game changer. And I must tell you that the stress you pass through now is nothing compared to when you start the program. That's what you are just doing now, is just a preamble. People that are writing books, they tell you just a preface of what you are going to face while in school. So you have to, um, be able to overcome those stresses or those challenges. And one of the ways is by applying to many schools, because you don't know the school that will accept you. You don't know the school that will make you, that will say, yeah, this is what we are looking for. So if you apply to a limited number of schools, to the best of my knowledge, it's deprive you from opportunities to get many admissions. And it's better to get many admissions from different schools and then consider the one you want to go than maybe being left with only one or even nothing. Because I must tell you that applying to schools is very competitive. Many people are applying for the same thing you're applying. And some labs can just take, 2 or 3 people, or highest 5 people. So if they take 5 people, for instance, and you just apply to, let's say 5 schools, and all those schools are taking, some labs are taking 2 people, some are taking 5, some are taking 3, some are taking 4. And most of them may not consider someone. And so if you are not applying to a limited number, that means you are, you are throwing away some opportunities away from you. And this application is something that comes seasonally. It's not something that maybe if you don't get, you can apply to another school immediately. It's kind of, it has some seasons where you have to apply. So that's why you have to make good use of this season you are and apply to many schools. Next time, for example, you can apply to 10 schools, apply to 10 to 15 schools, for instance. Unless you know that your qualification is top notch, it's one of the best. That's, you can just look at 3 schools and apply. But if you are just, if you think that you don't have what it takes to get to those, maybe just one school, for instance, I will advise that you apply to many schools. Apply to 10, 15 schools at the least. And if you have funding, you can apply to many others. But most schools are waiving application fees. So that's one of the challenges people face, and as well as a freeze or recommendation letters. So if you can talk to recommenders and tell them the challenge you might face, and they agree to submit up to 10 to 15 applications for you, recommendation for you, why not? Go for it. Go for it. The more you apply or the higher you apply, the higher your chances of getting into a school.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your information.
Sure, you're welcome. So do you have any other question in the house? With respect to our applications, I don't know how many of us know that have started writing our applications or applying to schools. Maybe if you are, and then you have some challenge in it, please be free to, share with us maybe the challenge you passed through or you're passing through while you're applying. So we can equally look into it and see how we can help.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much.
Yes. Hello,
Recently, I've not applied officially, but I've sent several mails to several faculty members in different schools, and I'm yet to get response from them yet.
Okay.
Of which, I think there was a time I asked the same question, that because sometimes you need to check if there is some of these faculty members are currently admitting into their lab, so that you'll be able to know if you should go ahead with the application or not. So those ones I have sent, at least for this year, I think about 4 or 5 schools like that. I'm yet to get any response. And of the opinion of trying to apply to schools that can waive application fee, irrespective of whether the lab faculty member is replying or not. So it's really giving me some really challenges of maybe to go on or not. And I really don't know. But I'm not giving up. I will still try and go ahead. I'm still working on it, because like what you said is always, is there is a lot of task in editing those statement of purpose, but it's not an issue for me, because different schools in different faculty member in different schools have different area of specialization. So if your SOP is not in line with
Exactly.
they will know that you are just doing it's crashing, and it will not be specific. So I understand that aspect. So for it's also a lot of work for me too, because I will need to check what they are doing, check the papers they've written, and try and align my own SOP to what they are doing so that it can fit in. Then I will also compare it with my previous experiences. Which area can I pick that can suit what they have done, so that they will know that at least I have an idea of what they have done. So
Exactly.
my challenge now is the members that I've sent to and they are not replying me. That is just my, because I've seen a lot of beautiful work that some have done. In fact, I saw one, I was so captivated about it, and she has not given me reply yet. So that is just a little challenge I have about that patient. I don't know what you have to say about it. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, it happens, honestly, it happens. Sometimes, just like maybe one applying for your work, you want to apply to your work and you're submitting different, letters and all that, and you're not getting responses, or even if you get response, they will tell you, sorry, you have taken someone else and all that. So this is just a work too, where you have to, submit many applications, many requests, and you are always eager to hear from them. And when you don't hear from them, it's kind of, it can be depressing and it can be tiring, because compiling such a thing is really difficult. But one thing I will have to say here is, when you're checking out for schools, check for schools that have a lot of faculty members, okay? Because if you have a school that has, many faculty members, they'll be able to, get across to you. Or even if that particular professor doesn't, have a space in his or her lab, he can recommend you to someone else within their department that you can talk to. But if you just, few members, if it's just a small number, a small school or a small university, and you just, it's only one person that is working in that area, and the person's lab is occupied, the person may not, find reason to reply you, because most of them are really busy. I must tell you, they receive many thousands of mails, or let's not say thousands, they receive hundreds of mails in a day. So most of them may not have time to be checking emails and be reading emails. But if your mail, if they have space in their lab and your mail is captivating enough, I believe they will answer you. Another thing is the subject of your mail, because most times you can just include anything in the subject of the mail, which maybe if they use a filter, they can filter off your message into the spam box, and people they will not be able to see it, because when there is a number of mails, they will just filter it, maybe PhD interest, and if they say PhD interest as the subject of your mail or MSc interest, they might be able to read it. But when the subject is something else and they don't even know what is it, the mail just goes to the it gets to the spam box where they will just leave it there. So while writing mail, make sure that your subject is captivating enough. And then once you put your subject, you can then write that professor so PhD interest in the field of this. That will be another subheading before you now start writing about your qualities and all that. And after writing it, you just place your CV. Your CV may just be 2 pages or 3 pages. Just place a summary of your CV on it and say, please find attached my CV or my resume for your perusal or for anything. So that person, okay, this person is, is interested in this field, and now equally states the field or states, what captivated you to contact the professor. Maybe the papers they have written social papers or social accomplishments, and you want to, you want to continue with them in that area. State it. That will show them that, yes, this person read through my website or through my link or publications before contacting me, and this person must have interest. So even if you do all this and they are not contacting you, keep on sending. From time to time, send a reminder to them. Most times they can forget. So you can send a reminder, maybe after a week, you didn't hear from them. You can send a reminder, dear professor, so. I wish to send a reminder about my earlier request. I've not heard from you, and I appreciate if I get a response from you in this area. So the person might say, okay, and that is second email, he or she might remember that he didn't reply you in your previous mail and send a response to you. So always send a reminder, and if they don't reply, continue sending many mails to other people. One of them must surely reply. It's one of those challenges one faces in application, but never relents. Okay, it's never it's never gonna be late until you get what you want. So I don't know if
Okay.
I clarified you.
I'll keep trying. I understand. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. So any other question, any other inquiries, queries, problems, or whatever?
But please, most schools now, when do you think application will end for this
Most
semester?
schools have already started application this month. So probably in the next 2 months, they should be closing. Most of them close 1st of December, some close 30th of November, some close 15th of December, some even extend to 1st of January. So it varies. It varies. But for schools that consider students for scholarships, I think they close around 1st of December.
Okay. But when we apply for PhD program, is it automatically a scholarship? Is it automatically scholarship?
Yeah, when you apply within the time frame that they gave, yeah, they will consider you for scholarship. It's when you
But if
apply
it's a
outside
master's
the time.
program, if
Sorry.
it is a master's program, what about a master's program?
Yeah, master's programs, so schools they quite consider you for scholarship. So if it's maybe a 2-year master's program, yeah, they will consider you. If they don't consider you for full scholarship, they can consider you for a partial scholarship. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
let's say you need to contact the graduate committee or graduate coordinator to know what they are doing.
Hello.
All right. Yeah,
I want
okay.
to
All right.
contribute. Yes. I want to make a comment. Yeah, I want to make a comment. Please,
Sure.
if it is possible, I'm talking to every one of us here. If it's possible, let all of us apply for PhD because I've been a victim of master's program. That thing doesn't work in Nigeria again because if you carry your master's program, go to that embassy with your partial funding, the VO will not use visa. So I'm suggesting that everybody should target for PhD program. That's it.
Yeah, I understand your points. Yeah. So if possible, you apply for PhD program so you get full funding. But if you get full funding for masters, go for it too. So it depends on what you get or how you get it. So either you get, masters or PhD, but most important is the funding. So if it's fully funded, you have a higher chances of getting your visa approved. So that's it, guys. If there is no other question, maybe we can do a cutting today. And the platform is still open. Maybe if you still have queries or problems you want to share, you can always, comment or share it over there on the WhatsApp group. And we're always open to answer it. Okay. So thank you so much for your presence today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Have a good night and a beautiful week ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good night, guys.